Hello guys! So today I want to walk you through exactly how I arranged this beautiful bouquet of felt flowers and walk you through all the steps that I did to get to this end result. Let's get started! I get this question so many times, so I just wanted to create this quick little tutorial on what to do when your flowers come in the mail and how to set them up and all the little tricks and tips that you can do to manipulate them to make them look so amazing at home. Okay, so this is a bouquet that I literally just finished creating yesterday. So the way I package them is I get all of my leaf stems, for instance, and they're all in the box. Flowers are all here, so they're all separated by flowers, all next to each other. Sometimes in transit, they get a little bumped around and scuffled, and sometimes they can get a little flat and they may need a little bit of refluffing. I do my best to package them, but I can't control it all. Don't put that part in. On these poppies, for instance, I mean, sometimes they can just kind of smash and close up, or one side might be a little flat, and best thing to do is you could just really get in there and just open the flower right back up and just play with a little center, just to refluff it and just give it a little bit more life. On some of my larger leaf stems, when I box them up, I usually fold all the wires up just to save on space, and this actually helps put a little cushion for the other flowers as well. So when you receive them, I mean, it's, you know, all smushed together. It's so easy just to move the wires out, bend them, manipulate them in any way you want them. So let's move on to just the general tips and how to start arranging your bouquet. So first thing I like to do is kind of lay out all of my flowers and separate them kind of by type. So let's do that. So this is a super fun bouquet too, because I ended up making a lot of new flowers for this bouquet specifically, which hopefully will be in the shop soon. That over there. So we have all of our flowers out and they're all categorized and they're laid out and they're ready to go. So I'm gonna use this vase. It's pretty similar to the vase that my client showed me, so kind of rough and dirty, the same width of the mouth. So we're gonna go ahead and start playing. I'm not gonna cut the wires today because this is actually for a customer, so I don't wanna go that far, but I'll kind of show you some other ways to do things. The first thing I like to do is I grab my big leaf stems, kind of spread them out, and then we're just getting a general shape here. I like to bend them forward just to give a little bit of opening room in the middle. The key thing about felt flowers and the amazingness of them is they're made out of wire. So do not be afraid to bend these wires and manipulate them in whatever direction that you want. It gives you so much flexibility and design to just be able to really put all these leaves exactly where you want them. So I'm just taking these larger ones and putting them around my base. Now, this is just like a general start. I like to start everything like that, and then once all the flowers, then you start manipulating and moving things around. So I'm gonna go throw these down. I'm also kind of doing this backwards for you guys too. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to grab these Lily of the Valleys, and these are a little bit shorter of a stem. So we're gonna start with these to make sure they're not being like hidden in our flowers. I like to keep things balanced, but again, you can do whatever you want. And the great thing too, they're felt, they're not gonna die, and you can literally rearrange them as many times as you want just to get that perfect look. And like, oh, I'm moving to another room, let's highlight a different flower. So next thing, I'm gonna take these guys. So this is the fun thing. So the poppies, if you've ever seen like a real poppy stem, they're kind of really like just bend all over the place. And they're actually like a little bit of a longer stalk. So we're just gonna not trim this at all and kind of throw this out. So it's just really popping out. I'm using a clear vase, but I'll show you a few tips on how to keep the flowers together if you're not using a clear vase. Clear vases, best things to use are like the clear plastic beads, crystals, sand, anything in there that's gonna look nice because you can see through the glass. Solid color vases, you can use paper, foam, paper towels, and again, sand, rocks, or anything in there too. Okay, so So we're gonna do that again. We're just gonna really like bend this around and just kind of give it a lot of character. This one we're gonna throw out here. And if you've ever really seen a lot of poppies, they're kind of wild and they kind of just like fan off in all sorts of different ways. Okay, so we did some poppy buds as well, and we're gonna kind of bend them around as well and just kind of poke them in here. Get a little bend action. I'm gonna tell you, this is way harder doing it backwards. Okay, so we're gonna pop in a little bit of this blue color. So if your wire's too tall and you don't feel like trimming it, so like this is a little tall in here for me, another trick is to just bend it to the length that you want. In a clear vase, you're gonna see the bend, but in a solid vase, you're not. So look, just throw a little bend in there, and now your flower is much shorter. So I'm gonna poke this guy up at front. Same here, I'm gonna bend him a little bit less over here, throw him over here. And already some leaves are getting in the way, and I'm just kind of moving, adjusting, and fussing. Okay, so I've got these little long, skinny ones. These are fun, and these just kind of, I like to bend them all kind of funky and just give it a little bit more character and shape, and throw one over here and kind of bring him out too. And we're gonna throw in some daisies. So I like to test my length first. So I'll drop the flower in and just see, okay, that's too tall. I don't like it at that length before I just go ahead and bend it or cut it. I mean, once you cut it, you can't uncut them. Best thing to cut them with is needle nose pliers. I love my Irwin vice grips. They've got needle nose on the end and then a wire cutter right at the base. So it's real easy to just snip them off. Scissors won't really do it. Nothing else will really cut this wire. I mean, I've used some really heavy duty like kitchen shears, but it's like chomp, 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 bend, bend, bend. Eventually it'll cut, but it's gonna dull the heck out of your scissors. So I would highly suggest getting yourselves a little bit of wire cutters. So this one we're gonna bend. And these I kind of like to give it a little bit of bend too, just to give them some character. This one I think I will leave a little bit larger. Bend, bend, bend. This is just honestly the super fun part. And also it kind of depends too, like I'm making this one very one directional, but it depends. Do you want it full 360? Do you want it, this is your front and it's against a wall? Is it on the middle of a table? That's really gonna dictate how you're gonna place your flowers. But again, it's the great thing about wire and felt flowers is that you can pull them out, try again, pull them out, try again, and fuss, fuss, fuss. What I like to do sometimes with mine on my counters is I'll do an original setup, and then as I'm walking by, I'll be like, ooh, I'm gonna move that one, or fuss with it and keep fussing with it. And sometimes it takes me a few days of fussing until I like the actual look of the flowers. So we'll throw this one over here, I think. I think it's definitely harder. Okay, so now this is the part where I'm like, okay, I've got the general shape that I kind of like going on here, and it's wide and broomy and she's got a lot of movement in here. And this is when I'll kind of go through and like fuss with leaves and just make sure all the flowers are being seen, move wires around, and really just like fine tune it. And again, literally like throw it on the counter, come back every once in a while and fuss a little bit. As I can't even see it, I should probably turn it around, but I kind of like it from guessing at it from the back. So that's a general idea. Like these ones, I probably would trim these wires here and make them a little bit shorter and kind of suck them in a little bit. Or if you like that look of just like kind of leaves fanning out, and then we can, you know, bring them back a little so that way it just looks like a really fuller leaf. And they don't have to be very flat either. We can move them up a little and just, this is the part that's so much fun. Literally like fuss and fuss and fuss and just get it exactly how you want. Do not be afraid to bend those wires. Just keep fussing until you're happy with your final product, and don't be scared to mess around with it and have some fun. Comment any questions. I would love to answer more questions. I would love to make more videos to help you out with any questions that you may have regarding felt flowers and arranging, or really anything to do with them. Go ahead and like and subscribe, and don't forget that notification bell so that you are notified when new videos are releasing. We've got lots of tutorials coming, and I can't wait to share them with you. I'll go ahead and link a shop link below, and where you can find these handy dandy pliers as well. All right, thanks guys. See you next time.